All right, everyone, welcome back to Legals Licks Lounge. We are officially 7-2, killing it so far. I think there's a lot of games today coming up. There's some tennis matches Dallas has been talking about. There's some baseball games he's been talking about as well. So I'm sure that our streak will only get better from here. I am your host, Maya. I'm joined today by Coach P. Coach P, how are you?
I'm blessed, Maya, and yourself?
I'm blessed too. It's Sunday morning, right? Dallas, how are you?
I'm doing well. Won me some money last night. Hopefully win me some money this morning. And let's get this show on the road.
Always the goal. So quick recap. Do you guys want to talk about anything from yesterday's episode since literally every single prediction happened? Was there one that stood out?
Yeah, Utah. The Utah Jazz. I think the series is over. The return of Donovan Mitchell is huge. It balances them offensively with the Grizzlies and their backcourt output. And then, as we mentioned yesterday, Rudy Gobert. He's the difference for me. So, we talked about it. We mentioned it on the previous show. Rudy is he changes your game plan. He's one person that the other five people on the floor have to be aware of anytime that they're attacking the basket, anytime that there's an offensive possession. So Rudy is the man to me on defense. And again, he is my defensive player of the year. With much respect to Ben Simmons, who was a lockdown defender, but Rudy defends everybody all the time on the court.
Okay, we have the video ready. So really quick, I'm just gonna play that video and then you can do your recap. Okay, guys?
Yeah, for sure.
Rudy. Everything else matches up pretty well. So the key is that rim protector down there that's sending stuff back, rejected. You know what I'm saying? Denied, access denied. So I would say the key player for Memphis, Rudy. You know what I'm saying? Rudy's not having it. So if Rudy is not there, that would be key. As long as Rudy is there, and they're not a great outside shooting team, so a lot of things have to be in transition downhill. And I watched Rudy sit down on somebody and play defense. I'm like, man, he ain't the best. I'm agree with D. He ain't the best perimeter defender, but he's better than just about every other center that I've seen in the league. You can put.
You said it yesterday, Coach P. Dallas, how did you feel about yesterday's game?
Man, I had a bet. I had Memphis under 115 points. I thought I was dead in the water. Memphis went on a 12-0 run to start the fourth quarter. Took a 2-point lead on the Jazz. And I had that under 115. They only needed like 10 more points. I think 12 more points with like 6 minutes left. Rudy Gobert get back in the game. Them people was under the rim like this. Kyle Anderson getting rebounds doing this. I thought my TV was glitching for a second. You got some block shots, all type of stuff was going on. Memphis didn't even get to 115. I ended up placing a bet on the Jazz. Once they went down, I bet like $3,000 on the Jazz. Ended up winning $3,000, easy money. Jazz won by 10 points. It was crazy. I mean, I thought I was so dead on that under 115, but it's all because of the Stifle Tower. Dude is for real, man. Memphis can't do nothing down there. They got to shoot everything on the perimeter. He neutralizes Valanciunas, and like Coach Parker said, the key for Memphis is him being out, and the key for the Jazz is him being in. So, big fella.
Yeah, he's exceeding my stat line for him. I believe I said 15, 13, and 4, 3 or 4 blocks. When I say 3 or 4, I'm thinking he's going to get 3 or 4 blocks. But he's been getting 4 blocks, per game. He's, previous game he had 21, he had 15. But his impact is not just in the stats; it's his presence. And so, as Dallas is saying, when guys are pump faking, they're intimidated. That'll throw your shot off. And so now you're settling for outside shots. You're settling for more pull-ups, and you're shooting less high percentage shots. Attacking the paint or attacking the rim.
Okay. Perfect. So let's dive into some of the games for tonight. We're going to start with the Lakers and Suns, since that's kind of the headliner. Dallas, what do you think about tonight's game?
Um, Lakers Suns today. I think Lakers a better team. I think Lakers kind of just had the advantage because of the Chris Paul injury. Chris Paul isn't 100%, and it's kind of tough for that Phoenix team to run correctly without their leader, their closer, and their decision maker at 100%. Yeah, Phoenix is a good team still, well coached, but you got to have that coach on the floor when you're going against LeBron. And just down the stretch of those games, Phoenix is going to crumble. So I like the Lakers again today. I think the key player, same people. Anthony Davis, of course. Anthony Davis has found his beast mode. I don't know what button they pressed on Anthony Davis. They did something to him. But dude, not shooting them fadeaways no more. He's attacking the rim. He's blocking shots. He's switching on pick and roll. He's doing everything that Anthony Davis, the superstar, is supposed to do. And he has arrived. Crowder can't guard him. Crowder is 6'8". Crowder 6'8", Anthony Davis 6'10", 7 feet for real, and can finish with both hands, post up, spin, pick and roll, catch lob, shoot the three. Now that they done woke up the beast, I don't think Phoenix really have a chance, especially without a healthy Chris Paul. Maybe with a healthy Chris Paul, it can even the floor a little bit, but nah, I think it's over with. I mean, dude chasing down blocks, everything is. I think this one is done. I think the Suns might cover the number just because Vegas wants them to cover the number because everybody gonna pound the Lakers today. They giving the Suns like 7 points. I would take it up to like 12, but I don't think the Suns win. I think they can cover the number. But that's all an asterisk, depending on what Chris Paul looking like, what percentage. They can get like a 90% Chris Paul. The Suns got a good chance, though.
Coach P, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about this series, but I'm going to talk about it because, that's what we do here. But yeah, my feelings, my feelings are hurt. Chris Paul is one of my favorite players in the league. So to see him go down again in the playoffs, in a crucial part of the series and a crucial part of his career, it's very disheartening for me because I'm rooting for Chris Paul. So I'll say this: the Lakers better win. The Lakers better win. If the Lakers don't win, and Chris Paul is somehow able to pull off the Willis Reed, Chris Paul for president in 2036. He proved to me that he can get it done on any level, no matter what the circumstance. And so Dallas said it though. AD is back. He's who he's always should have been. And I think the key for AD, he's the key player in the entire series, is that he's getting to the line. He shot 21 free throws a couple games ago. He shot 17 the other night. And so, my thing is for those who dominate the game, you're a dominant player when you get into the line. And so, I think I mentioned AD shot 4 free throws and he had played 42 minutes. Unacceptable, completely unacceptable to be 7 feet, and I had to kind of check his heart, but I knew it was there. There's no way you come through, Chicago and Chicago Public League and all of that without having that heart. So we knew it was there. We just had to take some of that glamour off, and go back. And, you saw me. I was messing with you. We had the do-rag on because I was going to go AD, but I took it off right before we started just to let them know you always got to keep, a stone in your pocket just in case, just in case somebody want to start it. And this is what AD has done. He brought some wood, he brought some weapons, and he's using them. So I give Lakers the edge, the clear edge. They better win. If they don't win, CP3 for president, 2036.
Oh my goodness. So It sounds like you all are on the same page thinking that the Lakers are going to win tonight. But what is one of the keys or one of the steps to success for them to be able to ensure that they win the game tonight?
I'll say Cameron Payne and Chris Paul to combine. If Chris Paul is going to try to give it a go, and then he's coaching on the floor. I mean, he's coaching from the bench, and somehow Cameron Payne is playing above what I expect from Cameron Payne. So I think the key is not necessarily what the Lakers are going to do, because I think they're going to do what they've been doing. Is there going to be somebody to step up and fill that void for Chris Paul? Is Jay Crowder going to be a poor man's LeBron James? He's going to make threes. He's going to block shots. He's going to do what LeBron does in in a Phoenix Suns uniform. And then the other players, Bridges, is he going to get long and defend, get out, and play the passing lanes and have an impact with the best way that he can, which is on the defensive end. And then, of course, Ayton. Can Ayton somewhat contain Anthony Davis? We know, Anthony Davis is a much better player skill set. But maybe DeAndre Ayton wakes up and say, okay, I've been getting my ass kicked last couple games. I'm going to come out and I'm gonna have an imprint, in this next game. So I think it's committee, and then Book is going to be Book. Just like we know he's going to give you about 30 a game. He's probably going to have to give you 40 with Chris going down in order for them to have a chance to win 40 or more. So, I got the Lakers though. I'm about ready to shift my support over to the Clippers now because we can ready to talk about them in a minute.
So we have a couple of questions in the stream, Dallas, that I think if you want to answer really quick. Someone wants to know, what do you think the over-under is?
It's going to go – I think it's going over. I'm taking Devin Booker to score 25, though. That's what I'm taking.
Mm-hmm.
Devin Booker scoring 25 tonight. Easy. So that's what I'm taking.
Yeah, easy.
And then someone else said, who scores more points, AD or Bron?
AD.
AD?
Yeah.
That was easy an easy decision.
Yeah. He the mismatch. I mean, you're gonna go LeBron, a smart basketball player. He's going at the mismatch. I mean, that's what LeBron James is gonna do. Anthony Davis, the clear mismatch. Phoenix don't have a body for him.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Now we can switch over to the next game. It is the Nets versus the Celtics. The Celtics pull this out just because it's getting a little embarrassing. But Coach P, we can start with you. Who are some of your key players for that game?
For the Nets, I'll say Kyrie. And I'll say Kyrie because I don't think Kyrie has erupted yet. Harden has had a game that you can point to and say, okay, Harden was there. KD has been solid. He's KD. You know what he's going to do. He's going to be 30 points typically every game. But Kyrie has not had the oohs and the ahs that we expect Kyrie to have. And coming back in Boston, I think he needs to make a point. I'm gone here. I don't know nobody here. Whatever the media is saying about me, I'm going to close my mouth. And today I'm going to play basketball, and I'm going to let my game speak for itself. And we know Kyrie has probably the greatest skill set, in terms of scoring the basketball from multiple ways from the perimeter, jump shot, one of the best three-point shooters in the league. He can do it all from the point guard offensively. And so I think it's Kyrie's game today because, I look at Boston. I went through Boston, so let me just shift to Boston. Boston, the key players is everybody that plays defense. And I was trying to find guys that play defense other than Marcus Smart and maybe Tristan Thompson. And the only other person that I could look at and say this person can defend and can be a league defender, Jason Tatum's gonna have to D up. So you got Marcus Smart, you got Tristan Thompson, you got Jason Tatum, and then I like Robert Williams. He's a high energy guy, and at 6'8", he can guard from your 5 to your 4, maybe even your 3, and he runs like a deer. So those three guys, Tatum, Smart, Robert Williams, I throw him in there, and then you could always throw in Tristan Thompson, who's battling. He's a warrior down there. You can leave him down there by himself. He's going to go against 5 guys if he has to.
Sure. Key player for me, Kevin Durant. I agree with the Kyrie Irving. Kyrie owed him a game, but I love Kevin Durant. I mean, he's got cooked by Jason Tatum 2 nights ago. So I think KD gonna take that real personal. KD is the best scorer on the planet. It looked like Jason Tatum was the best scorer on the planet. KD could play defense. KD has pride. So I don't think Tatum will go off tonight. I think Kevin Durant will make Tatum guard him, maybe get Tatum in foul trouble. And I think it's KD time to show Tatum how it's really done. Tatum was unconscious the other night. Maya called it out actually at lunch that Tatum was gonna get a game. She said Jason Tatum isn't gonna get swept. He's gonna win a game. I ain't believe her. So but yeah, they're done. That was their game. They are done. They woke up the sleeping beast. Brooklyn was in cruise control.
Yep.
They saw they got that loss. They see what Milwaukee on. They see Milwaukee got the sweep. They know they play Milwaukee next. It's about to get ugly for Boston. The key player for the Boston Celtics is Marcus Smart, but man, that shit is over with. The real key player was the Milwaukee Bucks winning. Once the Milwaukee Bucks swept the Heat, and then Boston beat Brooklyn. Brooklyn antennas all the way up. And Harden finally got off last game. He went off last game for 40. Yeah, Brooklyn is wide awake now. I don't think Boston keeps it close at all for the remaining 2 games of the series. I think it's just they ready to pack it up. Yeah, Marcus Smart is the only other player that's gonna come to play though.
I don't know. I feel like if this is their possibly last home game of the season, they're not just gonna lay there and take it. I think some of them are gonna compete on the Celtics. You don't think so?
Marcus Smart will compete, and Jason Tatum will compete. Kemba takes bad shots. Them people did, man.
Kemba, as he gets older, and he loses some of his lift and some of his explosiveness, you know, the game that he's been playing, you know, because he's always been a stop and start person. He could shift and stop on a dime and start right back up. I think not having that at its full capacity is taking away some of his advantages that he likes to use. So now I see Kemba, you know, maybe missing a few things that, you know, normally he would make, because Kemba was amazing getting into the lane, getting into the paint, and finishing in traffic because he knows how to use his body. But nowadays I see Kemba, you know, people staying with Kemba. Before you couldn't stay with Kemba at all. Now you can ride his hip, and his stop and start is not as deadly as it once was because of those injuries.
So for one prediction that game, you say Nets.
What'd you say?
Final predictions for that game, you both say Nets.
Yeah, I got Nets. Yeah, the only opportunity that Boston, I think, has of winning is to win the rebounding edge. And I believe that they can because of the type of players that they have, the personnel, and Robert Williams and Tristan Thompson.
Robert out tonight.
Oh, he's out. Oh well, yeah. Well, oh yes. I don't think they win. Yeah. He was the key. Tristan is down there. You can throw Rob in there. You can throw Jason Tatum rebounds well. Smart will rebound, but you know that's the only advantage that I could see them having is that they're fighting harder for rebounds, because you know the Nets, once the shot is up, you might have 2 guys trying to take off. Like, okay, let's go. Let's get back on offense because this is what we do. You know what I'm saying? So you may not have a Harden or a KD or a Kyrie down at a rebound. But I think they lock in. I watched them the first couple of games, and the Nets looked like they were absolutely having fun playing. They looked like the Harlem Globetrotters to me the first couple of games. They were laughing, you know, joking. And even in their mistakes, they were like, oh, yeah, my bad. We're going to run it back again. I got you. Like Kyrie made a mistake, and they were up 25 at the time, I think. But you clearly see that Boston was dominated, you know, in one of those games where they made Boston look bad. And I think that's the real picture here is one team is at one level, another team is at another level. And I think they just had a lapse, particularly on defense. You know, stop Tatum. What more do you need, Steve Nash? Stop Tatum. You know, I know you got somebody on the bench that can stop Tatum.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at least put him on the line. He can shoot 30 free throws before he get 50. No.
For sure. Over under on the Nets game. The Nets are gonna go over and Boston will go under. How about that? There you go. Boston will not hit their team total tonight. Steve Nash is gonna put an emphasis on that defense. They're gonna be switching, moving everywhere. Bruce Brown gonna be thirsty. Boston will not score over their total points today, and Brooklyn will score over their total points because Brooklyn's defense creates their offense. When Brooklyn playing defense, their offense is crazy in transition. You can't stop Brooklyn in transition. It's 3-point shooters everywhere. You got KD running the floor, dunking the ball. Then you got Harden getting to the free throw line, kicking it to Kyrie. And Kyrie exploding tonight. It's Kyrie night. Kyrie gonna explode tonight.
Yeah, I got Kyrie tonight.
Kyrie for
Kyrie.
25 going on my ticket. Kyrie to hit 2 threes going on my ticket.
Y'all, you took it right out of my mouth. I was getting ready to say it. I'm like, man, Kyrie over 25 tonight. You know, I give him 28.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to see about that one, Coach B. Okay, so let's move on to our last game of the day. We have the Clippers and Mavs. Dallas, do you want to start with some of your key players for that game?
Key player for this game, Mr. Rondo, number 9. Patrick Beverley played 5 minutes the last game they played. I don't know if Tyronn Lue listened to me or he listened to somebody or he opened his eyes finally for the game 3. He finally opened up his eyes and realized that Patrick Beverley is useless out on the floor. Like Russell Westbrook was saying for the rest of his whole life. Patrick Beverley is out there like a chair. Like when you go practice in the gym, Patrick Beverley a rolling chair out there. He a chair, but he got wheels on him. He rolling, and Luka just putting him in the bucket every time. The Mavericks was just doing pick and roll, pick and pop with Tim Hardaway Jr. switching Patrick Beverley on Luka, and Luka was just putting Patrick Beverley in the bucket. Patrick Beverley only irritate them little guys. Luka, he's 22, but he's too big. He way too big for Patrick Beverley. And I ain't never seen Patrick Beverley get shit talked to him and he don't say nothing back. That's how you know Patrick Beverley was in check. And he know he belongs on the bench. Like, Patrick Beverley letting Luka say whatever the hell he wants to him and he can't say nothing back. And but they made the adjustment, put in Rondo. Put Rondo in. Beverley played 5 minutes. Rondo played 28 minutes. And Rondo produced for them. He made Luka guard someone because Luka is really slow on his feet. So Rondo is really quick and shifty, and he's really crafty. That's the biggest thing about Rondo. He's crafty. So when Luka's guarding him, he's going to get past Luka and then either create for somebody else or Rondo is excellent at making layups. He makes all the tricky layups. He doesn't really miss layups. The layups on 99. And as well that he can pass it to all the shooters on the perimeter. Morris, Kawhi, George, all those guys are knockdown shooters. Reggie Jackson. And you got your point guard on the floor and your best decision maker. He's setting everybody up in the perfect position and making Luka play defense. Luka gonna go off regardless. But Rondo is smarter on defense than Patrick Beverley as well. You would think Patrick Beverley is a better defender, but Rondo's experience and IQ, he makes it a little bit more difficult for Luka, forcing him towards a better defender or making him take a tougher shot. I saw a couple times where Rondo was just there and like swiping at the ball, just a little bit better than Patrick Beverley. It just fits way better, and that's the key for the Clippers. The key for the Mavericks is Tim Hardaway Jr. and Porzingis. Big Porzingis has to come up big, and of course Tim has to keep making those threes. They don't have a chance if Tim doesn't hit 4 or 5 threes, and Porzingis has to be the mismatch. He's the mismatch on the floor. The Clippers don't really have no one to match up with him. Size-wise and skill-wise, Zubac can't match up with him skill-wise. Ibaka was out last game. Kawhi is too small. George is too small. Morris is too small. I mean, but this guy want to just shoot these type of shots. So that's why he got the Anthony Davis game 1 and game 2 syndrome. He want to shoot fadeaways and shoot threes on guys that's 6 inches shorter than him. So if big fella can actually play like a big fella, Dallas got a chance. But if not, I think Dallas in real trouble, man. Dallas don't win this game, they going home. Dallas lose this game tonight, they will go home. I guarantee it. What Charles Barkley say? What a button at? I guarantee you, if Dallas Mavericks lose this game tonight, they will go home, and the Clippers will be in the Western Conference Finals. Guaranteed.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. You know, they'll move to the next round, but you know, who they got? Utah.
They beat Utah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was muted. I'm happy you mentioned Tim Hardaway Jr. as one of your key players. because I want Dallas to make it to the next round so that we can bring Tim Hardaway on this show so he can give his picks to see what he thinks about his son, how he's been playing. Because he's been playing really well, I think, so far in the series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a player. He's a player.
All right, let's get Tim on here. Actually, even if they don't make it, let's get him. We gonna
Right,
get
let's
Tim.
get him on.
Let's get Tim.
Let's get him on for the closeout game because we can get Tim on next week.
Yeah, we're gonna get Tim here. We're gonna get Tim on next couple shows.
Dallas, are you ready to give out your free pick today?
Oh,
well, let me.
Coach Parker.
Coach P.
Yes, ma'am. Well, you got right to just skip over me because after Dallas said it, it's going to be a rerun of what he said. I might put a little extra sauce on it or something a little bit different. But Rondo. But I really think it's Rondo and Coach Lue being on the same page. And I think obviously, as a coach, sometimes you got to step back and you got to honor your players. And I think Rondo knows something that Coach Tyronn Lue doesn't know. And if I was Coach Lue, I would humble myself and say, well, you know what I'm saying? Let me pull you to the side. What you think? Come on in the room and help me game plan. You know what I'm saying? Because, all that yelling and cussing people out in the locker room, that ain't gonna get it. We're trying to win. So I need all hands on deck. I would elevate him to game plan. Come on in. What do you think? What do you see, Ro? And if Rondo is on point, he's spot on with it. I would allow him to help do some game planning. I think Rondo makes them a much better team than any other guard that they had at that one position. Just a much better team, from Reggie Jackson to Patrick Beverly, and I don't understand why it took so long for them to make that move. And if you start them, you can rest guys like Kawhi and Paul, and then they can become your secondary point guards. So when Rondo is out, now you can have, not necessarily start him, but if you play significant minutes, when Rondo is not there, then no, I'm not letting Reggie Jackson initiate the offense. We're going all the way through Kawhi. Every now and then we'll go through Paul George. The key for them is Coach Lue and Rondo being on the same page because, Rondo is a disruptor. And if you're not on the same page, he can disrupt kind of like a staff, if he knows something that they don't know. Real quick, I say that Dallas has, I think Dallas can win in the size advantage. They got those footers down there in Cauley-Stein and Porzingis and Boban. And so if Dallas can use their size to their advantage and kind of, win the rebounding edge, ultra shots, block shots, adjust shots. The only thing is that, they may not be as mobile as you need them to be. But I like Porzingis at the 4, but can he guard? Can he guard? I think the Clippers, with them being one of the best perimeter defending teams in the league, having Kawhi, having Paul George, having Beverly, having Rondo, you really got to look and say, okay, well, what advantage do we have? And I think the advantage would be, down in that paint area. So I think Dallas would want to take advantage of that on the defensive end, in the rebounding department. I don't really see them having a legit post player, so I'm not speaking on that. But just making it difficult for them to score in the paint.
We have a question in the stream. Someone wants to know the over/under for this game.
I think Paul George scores 25 points tonight. I kind of cheat on my over/unders. I just think about what player for it to go over, what player would have to score for it to go over, because it give me a better number. Paul George is gonna score 25 tonight. It's go time. Him and Kawhi are on one court, and Paul George knows he got to come run and come play with Kawhi Leonard, or they're not gonna be able to beat Dallas. So I like Paul George score 25. It's minus 150. If I was gonna say anything, I would say the over, but just because I don't think either team can guard each other. But I think that the Clippers might lock. I got a feeling. I don't know. It's just a feeling. I got a feeling that Clippers gonna play a lot of defense tonight. It might lock them cats up. And I think they might miss some jumpers finally because Dallas understands how big of a game this is. What they be saying is it might get tight. It might get real tight in Dallas because they know they lose this when they in trouble. So it's a lot of young cats over there, not really been there before. they miss shots, Dallas in trouble because Luka just creating open threes for his team. That's what's going on. Like Luka either gonna get his layups or create for people, and I don't think they're gonna let Luka beat them all the way today. And I mean, Dallas gonna shoot jumpers. They're gonna make them miss them, and I think they might miss them tonight just because of the magnitude of this game. Yeah, they've been hot 3 games straight. They got to come back down to earth eventually.
Coach P, what do you think?
I got the Clippers. Yeah, I think the Clippers even the series. I think they go back feeling very good about themselves. I think they regroup, they retool, and they remind everybody of what we expected from them for them to be a championship caliber team. So I take the Clippers. You know, in a relatively close game. You know, not a blowout because Luka is going to hoop. He's going to get his team involved, and he's a game time player. And it's almost like he's been here before. When I say he's been here before, I'm not talking about the series. It's like he's been in this situations when he was in like preschool or something. Like it's like he lives for the big moments, and he knows exactly what to do. You know, he's like Neo. You know, when he gets there, he like, you know, I know jujitsu. I don't know how I know. I just know. He just knows. So I give Luka a whole lot of credit if we want to start talking about MVPs and all of that. Not this year. But this man is literally carrying a team, an organization, and he's putting the league on notice that he's that dude.
So final predictions for this game. Dallas, who do you say?
Clippers.
Yeah. Clippers. Give me Clippers by 7. You know, they close it out late. Rondo helps to seal the deal, and they go back to it's going back to LA, right? After this one.
They're going back to LA, and Dallas is in trouble.
LA feeling really good. Real good.
Yep. I got me a nice little bet pending, man. The Clippers can go ahead and win this thing, man. I got 4,000 for 20 bands if the Clippers can win this thing. So we'll see. We're gonna see. Yeah, I got a nice little ticket. Let's see if I got the ticket here, man. I think I got it.
This dude.
Got a nice little ticket here.
Man, hey, Nick just checked in. He said he enjoyed being on the podcast. He said he wanted to come back. I said, man, you know, talk to Dallas, but can't nobody get in touch with Dallas. What you got there?
I just need them Clippers. I had Bucks. I mean, I need Clippers in Portland. You know, I need Clippers in Portland to win their series, but I think Portland gonna handle their business.
Yeah,
I think
Portland gonna win. Portland gonna win, and my boy gonna get some flowers this year. I don't know if he get you know, to the championship, but I think Carmelo, you know, he reminds us that he's Carmelo. You know, he's the first ballot Hall of Famer.
For sure. Then another pick I do like I said, my favorite pick for the Clippers game is Paul George to go 25. And or Clippers team total over. I don't think the Mavericks can stop the Clippers, but I do think the Clippers have a chance of stopping the Mavericks. I wouldn't play the over under for both teams, but the Mavericks can't stop the Clippers with Rondo at point guard, and he pushing the pace and running every single time. That's the difference between Patrick Beverley and Rondo. Rondo getting the ball and he gone outlet. Let's go. Let's score this ball.
I think when you talk about Rondo, you also gotta mention the fact that he knows their sets. He understands what they're trying to do on offense, especially being a former Dallas Maverick and playing for Rick Carlisle. So, you know, Rondo can almost read their plays, you know, and he does it. He's so cerebral. You know, there are only a couple guys that I put in the Rondo category, and that's LeBron and Chris Paul in terms of the mind for the game. You know, you could say Luka. I don't know in terms of defense, but definitely he makes tremendous reads. So Rondo is, you know, he's a coach. He's a coach on the floor, you know, and if they can respect his understanding, his knowledge base, I would allow him to help game plan for, you know, Dallas, especially against Luka. I would ask him, what do you see with Luka? You know, and he does that. He breaks things down, you know, infinitesimally small. It's the little things that make the biggest difference, and Rondo knows this.
Do you think that since Rondo is kind of like a coach on the floor, that's why he doesn't really work with some of these teams, since he goes to teams that already have kind of like a LeBron James, they already have coaches on the floor?
I think, you know, I've been a coach for so long, and for a while, not so long, but for a while, and you get to a point where you realize that it's not about you. You know, early on, you're a tyrant. It's my way or the highway. But as you become a lot more experienced, you're like, hey guys, if anybody, it was a scene in Remember the Titans. This guy was a legendary coach. And he's like, hey, I'm getting my ass kicked out here. Can you help me? And Coach Joseph said, okay, yeah, you take some of my offensive players and put them on defense. You take whoever you need. He's like, man, thank you. And then he told him, and that's one of my scenes. Tonight we're gonna make sure that tonight they remember the Titans. It's one of those things that I get misty eyed. So I think Tyronn Lue like, hey, I got championships. I got this. But Rondo is in our locker room. He's speaking from experience. He got championships as a player, and I trust his knowledge. I trust his instincts, to help us to get over this hump. Because if not, they're going to be a huge disappointment. If they don't get out the first round, they're going to hear Tyronn Lue probably be on the hot seat. If they fire Doc Rivers, Tyronn Lue, you got one more year, bro, and you probably out of there. You can't get out the first round.
Jesus.
Yeah, and let alone Kawhi. You know what I'm saying?
What's the time? Gone? Everybody gone.
Yeah. The time is now. So if you can't get yourself out the way, and as men, and as coaches, we have egos. You got to have an ego to be a coach, But sometimes you got to be a man and understand, hey, the time is now. We all can rise or we all can sink together. So man, all hands on deck. There's a saying. One of my favorite coaches, Coach Popovich. Tony Parker came to him. He was talking to him. He was like, man, let me go in there. And Coach Popovich was like, yeah, go ahead. Tony Parker turned around, went down, sat in the coach's seat, and everybody came around. He grabbed the clipboard and he started calling plays. If Tony Parker can do it for the championship San Antonio Spurs, Rajon Rondo can do it for a team that's trying to win their first championship. And that could be the difference. Give Rondo the clipboard. Let him call a play or two,
So,
Alice, are you ready for the free pick of the day?
Yeah, the free pick actually is on right now. It's still 0. Ooh, it's not 0-0 no more. Let's see. Something happened. Oh yeah, the free pick 0-0 still. The Chicago White Sox again. The Baltimore Orioles have lost 12 straight games. The White Sox beat them twice yesterday. I don't see why the White Sox don't sweep the Orioles again. So they should beat them 3 straight times. Give the Orioles that 13th straight loss. That's my free pick of the day. Another pick I like is the Nets minus the points or Kevin Durant to get 8 rebounds. I'm gonna say 7 just to be safer, but I put 8 on my slip. KD's playing big. He rebounds the ball the most for Brooklyn. Blake Griffin doesn't really rebound. Harden hasn't really been rebounding. KD, the 7-foot rebounder, and he gets the ball and pushes it up the floor. So I don't see how KD don't get 8 boards, and I don't see how Brooklyn doesn't beat Boston by 7 points today. So gave you like 3 picks right there. There you go.
Let me throw my dart. Atlanta win. The Knicks go home. Phoenix go home. Nate McMillan. I'm gonna reiterate it. Coach of the year, Nate McMillan. If he get them out the first round, I know he's not gonna get it, but I'm just talking a little spit. So don't mind me. But because the Knicks are down right now, down 15, 16. So I stand by my pick, Nate McMillan. Not saying that he's gonna win, but I like to say my pick, and I like to justify it with results. Nate McMillan.
For sure.
Okay. So this was Legal Lakes Lounge. We are 7-2, hoping to go 8-2. Dallas, you just gave out a lot of pick stuff, so I don't know if we need to.
So look, we're gonna narrow it down to 1. We gotta narrow it down to 1, basically. Yeah, we gotta narrow it down to 1. All right, so the free pick for today is going to be Brooklyn. Brooklyn minus 7.
Okay.
Brooklyn minus 7. Brooklyn minus 7. That's the free pick for the day. That's the one going on our record. The rest of them, Brooklyn minus 7 going on the record.
Yeah, I'll take that.
All right, perfect. So we will be back tomorrow for more games. Coach P, Dallas, thank you for joining me.
Yeah, God bless.
Bye.